Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Startladder Europe, brought to you by G2A.com. We've got two best of threes for you guys today in Europe Phase 2. We've got Cloud9 taking on London Conspiracy, followed up by Goomba taking on Scary Faces. I'm GoDz. Joining me for today's broadcast is none other than Blaze. How you doing, Blaze?
Doing real well, man. I've been watching Dota all day, been enjoying the different metagames from across the regions, and I'm interested to see how this one plays out. London Conspiracy is kind of a wild card. I've only seen a few of their games, and they seem to draft pretty dynamically. Still kind of sticking to a core structure, but overall, like, you never know what Spartan's going to be running. He's a very interesting and dynamic support player, and Cloud9, obviously, they're trying to get out of a bit of a rut. They had a roster switch, which cost them a little bit, but also gained them a lot of potential, and so far we don't really think that potential has been realized. Cloud9 really could be competing at a tier 1 level, and recently they've been taking some heavy losses, so we'll see how it plays out here. It's interesting, they've actually researched a lot into London Conspiracy, because they do ban out the Night Stalker. That's been picked up between both teams. Big Daddy ran a support Night Stalker recently, and London Conspiracy ran it as well, so it's just one of those new meta things, and that are going to be pretty important for the first phase.
Yeah, I think a lot of you kind of really nailed it there with Cloud9. It's like I think people they did really well at DAC, but since then this team has not really lived up to the expectations. And if it wasn't for DAC, you'd be saying like, well, this is a new roster, this is a new team. This is not a team you'd give a TI invite to. But with that said, they performed so well at DAC, you've got to really give them at least some credit and kind of talk to their potential as a team and what they can accomplish when things kind of come together. But this is kind of a transitional phase for a lot of teams. We've seen even like the CIS teams going through their last minute like roster reshuffles. China's just settling down, and it seems Cloud9 are pretty set on this 5 for the time being. So as far as the picks go, you mentioned the bans. They've done some of their homework there about London Conspiracy. It's a Zeus Phoenix opening for Cloud9. London Conspiracy, they first picked the Axe and then went into a Storm Spirit with their second pick. More than anything, I think Cloud9's opening 2 picks kind of interesting. The Phoenix and the Zeus as their opening 2.
Yeah, that's very interesting indeed. I mean, obviously we're going to see a lot of potential with their ultimates to just deal a lot of magic damage, especially if the Phoenix Egg can survive. But what are they going to really do to secure that? Do they go like a Treant Protector for overgrowth? Do they get some more attack speed slows? Like, how do they really make this egg worthwhile? So far, it's been Bone 7 running Phoenix for the most part, so he'll be probably taking that to the offlane. And I guess that would be based on the fact that the Bat Rider was banned out and the Axe was already picked up. Those are some that he picks up. Sometimes he goes for like Legion Commander and stuff like that, but I can see the Phoenix definitely working if they can build the draft around it appropriately. Some good control, any good disables. They could go for things like the Enigma. I mentioned the Treant. I would actually love to see some like anti-Storm Spirit control though. Like right now, the Storm can zip around the fight as much as he wants to, and until they get something like a Lion Hex or in this case, an Earthshaker, they didn't really have the hard disable they needed to control him.
All right, well, Cloud9 get some lockdown to go fight around that Phoenix Egg. I think, like you say, fighting around the Phoenix Egg is always going to be an important thing for a draft. You want some stuns, some lockdown, something like a Treant Overgrowth, Earthshaker Fissure, Sand King Burrow Strike, some kind of AoE lockdown to help keep that Phoenix Egg alive. So Cloud9 go into that with the Earthshaker. We'll have to see how some of these lanes unravel. If it's going to be that kind of support Zeus we sometimes see out of Cloud9, although with the Earthshaker pickup, that kind of is more likely maybe to be No-Tails hero. I don't think Earthshaker Zeus as a support hero seems very weak, given you almost no potential to zone out something like an offlane Axe. So we'll see what Cloud9 have in mind here. We're seeing a lot more kind of, I guess, teams lean towards the dual lanes, which is where Phoenix has become a top pick because he fits so well into those kind of dual lanes in the offlane.
Definitely. So no surprise here, we get the Juggernaut to come out with the London Conspiracy's draft. They run this pretty much anytime they can with the Axe, and it's actually a lot of people don't get that you can actually hit it while you're spinning, but Blade Fury, if you're invulnerable to it, you can still attack. Things like towers, things like the egg, and of course he usually picks up a Mask of Madness, so not too shabby, but it is possible to either dodge Omni Slash with the egg, or when he's Omni Slashing to say, okay, that's one less hero getting auto attacks off, and pop the egg for its utility. But Skywrath Earthshaker, good roaming combo, and Skywrath is really good against the Juggernaut. It's going to force the Juggernaut to build Manta as his second item, and it is also really good at getting storm kills, even after level 6.
Yeah, it seems Cloud9 are very focused on the lane saves, though, still with these picks here. They have yet to get Envy's hero, I imagine, for the safe lane. It looks like with this, we'll see like a off-lane Phoenix, mid-Zeus for Fata, and Skywrath +1 for the safe lane. Earthshaker kind of just roams around, goes where he's needed, protects the mid lane, maybe helps out the off lane early on with that initial fissure block, but no real carry yet picked up for Envy.
Probably just, oh, it's going to be a Rubik here coming out for London Conspiracy. I expected the Vengeful Spirit. That's something they run all the time, and generally speaking, it can capitalize on the fact that Earthshaker and Skywrath have very low armor to start. But Rubik is not too shabby. Stealing the Fissure early, maybe a Thunder God's Wrath, or even just a Lightning Bolt is fine. And I guess Egg is possible, though you'd probably have to blink for it.
Something else he also like to do is, they played yesterday against Asus Polo. It was a close 2-1 loss where they almost came out on top. Every single game they're running these offensive tri lanes. So if they're going to stick to that kind of approach to a game, Rubik kind of maybe a slightly better support as far as having the longer range, having a good initiation. You could do something like a Rubik Jug +1 in that offensive tri lane. With that said, it's not like Axe is getting an easy 1v1 matchup in the safe lane. They did that when they had like an Axe versus Doom 1v1 and Axe crushes Doom. Against Phoenix, it's a lot tougher for an Axe.
Yeah, I've seen some interesting aggro tri matchups coming out from London Conspiracy. I don't really feel Rubik that's a strong point. Like, the early levels, especially before level 6, Rubik, you know, he contributes to stun, he can pick somebody off, but Earthshaker or Skywrath really can contribute a lot, and right now all they have is the Juggernaut on the front line. So I think it's just the Axe off lanes and jungles, and then they can play a bit more reserved until they get their ultimates up, but that's just kind of my mindset towards it. Another interesting aspect about Rubik is there's a lot of magic damage on the field, and Null Field is a merit of Rubik, where he can mitigate a lot of that. I don't know if that's the reason you pick up the hero, but it definitely is a contributing factor towards the mid game. But Terrorblade, man, what do you think?
Eternal Envy special, I guess. I don't know. I mean, Envy would love for this hero to remain relevant. It's one of, I think, his favorite heroes, and something he still plays a lot of in his pub games. So we'll see how he can manage the Terrorblade here. But this is a hero that's so squishy, has received some pretty potent nerfs as well. Did kind of get it mixed in with a buff to his ultimate, but it really feels like Terrorblade's a hero that can quickly become food for, I mean, an Axe. You've got a Storm to ball lightning in and actually find the guy. And London Conspiracy with this last pick, Chen, are going to be looking to probably take towers, objectives, and control the early to mid game, not giving Envy time to kind of come online towards that late game.
All right, maximum theory crafting here. Let's see, Bone 7 pick up an Aghanim Scepter and give Envy a double metamorphosis. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You know, I was, for the longest time, I was like, what's the best hero to combine a Phoenix Ag Scepter with? Like Medusa, Terrorblades, all these things, and then every time I've seen Phoenix Ag Scepter, it's just made me think more and more, it's a terrible item for Phoenix.
Yeah, it really is.
It is absolutely awful upgrade. Yeah. The problem is, you put a second hero in the egg, and that means there's only 3 heroes left alive to protect your Supernova, and I feel the only time that Supernova is going to stay alive and not... If he gets killed, you lose 2 heroes. Exactly. And the only time it's going to stay alive is if you've won the fight regardless. So if your egg doesn't die, chances are you're going to win the fight anyway. So it seems super gimmicky and something that's never going to actually be particularly good. Out like in the middle of a team fight, you're not using a Supernova to save a teammate, because that teammate's surrounded by 5 heroes. That's the reason they're dying, because they're surrounded. Yeah, exactly. So if you egg, your egg dies. I kind of like the idea of putting Leshrac in the egg, but I think the only way you can actually reliably use it is Stone Gaze plus, because it still affects on the outside. But, yeah. You know, maximum theory craft. We're here to the lighting phase. Let's start off with just some introductions. Alrighty, well, we'll start things off on the Radiant side. London Conspiracy are going to be running Skanks on the support Rubik, supporting Spartan on the Chen, getting some early D-wards off. Relax going to be playing the Juggernaut, Keezer on the Storm Spirit, and leaves Madara playing the Axe, going to head towards that offlane. And who's on Cloud9, Blaze? Yep, looking over at Cloud9, of course, we've got Eternal End on his Terrorblade here. We've got the mid Zeus going for a pretty early bottle build, very conservative. He's got the 500 gold banked up, so Fato's running that. Big Daddy No Tail is going to be on your Skywrath mage. So that'll leave Misery to pick up the Earthshaker. He might on the bottom lane with his Fissure, but otherwise, yeah, you got Bone 7 here on the Phoenix going for a grab, but no, he gets to... He did the bounty run, and he's going to be first blood. Oh, Bone 3+2+2. I know the chat beat me to that one, probably. That is not the start you were hoping for. That Rubik was ready for it. The Fissure to try and secure it, that is just not worth one bit at all. That's why you picked the Rubik, I guess, for the counteraction against the Phoenix Dive. Yeah, there are 3 really good heroes to stop Icarus Dive. There's the Disruptor Glimpse, there's the Silencer, because the last word makes it so he can't cancel it, and then Rubik, of course, with that Telekinesis reposition. And those are the 3 supports to try to counteract this Phoenix, and he's going to have a lot of help from Misery now. Yeah, this is not going to be exactly a fun lane. Rubik will start with the creep pulls to pull the wave back. The Fissure Block gets like some XP for the Phoenix Earthshaker, but Bone 7's not even getting the solo XP here, so really bad start for Cloud9. But we'll see how they can kind of make up for it elsewhere on the map. Right now, it's going to be a Zeus versus Storm Spirit mid lane 1v1 matchup. There's even a Chen Centaur already coming in to try and help things out. Just chase him down. No clarity, no bottle. You're not going to have much fun here, Fata. But
he's actually going to go for a very early Bottle Crow here, so there are no supports to roam, pick up Warrior, even if it only moves at 245, but it is just showing that the sidelines won't be getting anything what is from the side shop. Envy did pop the Metamorphosis, guaranteeing some CS, and of course getting some good damage on the tower. Trying to Helix it a bit, but this is a 10 armor Terrorblade with the Ring of Protection. Like, Envy goes ahead and says, okay, I have a hero with 7 base armor, and I'm still going to buy the Ring of Protection. It's annoying, and I'll build Aquila out of it anyways.
Yeah. It's one of those things where Axe physical damage is the kind of Helix, so it's you may consider Terrorblade typically a fairly squishy hero, and he is, like his HP, but as far as having armor to deal with kind of Helix, he's not too bad in this matchup. He's effectively got like a 600 HP hero with maybe 3 or 4 armor. It's just as tanky as that.
Yeah, he's actually only taking 61% physical damage right now. Like, there's so much mitigation coming in, and X can't rely on anything but some massive rotations. And not like Chen or Rubik are going to leave the bot lane anytime. Like, Chen can technically rotate with the new Test of Faith on yourself, but it costs so much mana. He's got to be staying bottom and mid.
Yeah, and well, we'll see. We'll see what Chen's move is going to be. Hasn't picked up a smoke.
Courier Snipe is what he's going for. Look at a mid lane.
I guess it can
Ambitious,
work. He may get this. This Courier is slow with this bottle. One right click, one more. Can he get at the tower? He's got it!
Oh! Wow!
Takes the ball out. I've never seen that before. That is
well, I was
next level.
It was pretty greedy with that crow or using the Bottle Crow before you can get the Flying Courier out, and we see it punished.
Oh my! I'm like clicking the center. I'm like, Centaur, okay, you got 320 movement speed. Courier's okay. Courier's actually down to 250 or something. Like, this is maybe gonna work, or 245 without that.
Yep.
Top lane, Andara, TP out. That really hurts your Zeus.
Wow, yeah, undoubtedly. I mean, he'll still survive in the lane, Storm, even at level 6, be able to kill him because Fata will play reserve, but he's not going to get any CS. He's got like maybe 3-4 more CS in his mana pool. Just going back. He's going to go back to base, buy up boots and TP somewhere. Probably mid, but we'll see. Earthshake's making his way there now.
The mid lane just becomes very dangerous because you don't know when that Chen smoke is coming in. Without boots, you've got no chance of avoiding that gank from a Chen plus with the Storm Spirit, who doesn't actually have any points in Electric Vortex, but is getting closer and closer to that level 6. Actually, no, he's not going to buy his boots. He buys a Soul Ring.
Is he just going to go stack the camps and arc that down?
He's keeping back mid. He's going to stick it out in this mid lane. Surprised he doesn't pick up the boots here. This is an opening I feel someone like Chen could look to exploit.
Yeah, and he's obviously shown that he wants to be involved in the mid lane. The 2 Centaurs have come his way now. This Satyr, like, Fata knows that he's getting a lot of hate in his direction and has to play very good here. So for now, he'll have enough mana to sustain with the Soul Ring, but I think they should definitely emphasize camp stacks. You know, that would be allowing Fata to push forward in his farm, even 2 points in Arc Lightning at level 5.
Yeah. No real traditional camp clears, but Zeus, just the 2 points in Arc, like you mentioned, pretty good as far as just clearing it out over time. So we'll see Misery make a move through the jungle here. He's going to get vision of where the Chen is if he sticks around, but also just looking maybe to pressure Keezer in this mid lane. Bolt not going to land here, and Storm going to hit level 6.
Yeah, so almost impossible to run him down now. They do see this Wild Wing, and they're going to go right on Fata.
He's got the Tornado support. He's got the Skywrath Mage there. I don't think that's going to save him. One more right click. The Fissure just barely gets him out, but he's committing. Keezer gets a kill onto the Zeus. Effectively a solo kill. I mean, the Chen, yes, probably wouldn't get the kill without the Chen, but the Storm Spirit gets solo XP and gold for the kill.
And you chalk that entirely up to the no boots. Like, obviously he gets more CS with the Soul Ring, but he, with Boots of Speed, would not have died there.
Well then, things looking really good early on for LC. This is reminiscent of yesterday. Against Aces Polar, they destroyed them in game 1 of that best of 3. Top lane though, Madara maybe in some trouble here. The Terrorblades pop the Metamorph, and he's going to try to chew his way into some trees here. Turns around with a call. Can he get the spins he needs? He's going for a TP. Not going to make it out, and didn't quite get the spins he was hoping for, although would have needed at least a couple to kill even a 0 armor Skywrath Mage.
So, I mean, the Zeus will get a 6, he'll still be relevant, but let's check out the other lanes. I mean, obviously Envy, he's got to be moving in towards some items pretty quickly. Kind of like a Yasha Scotty type buildup would make a lot of sense here. Bottom lane Bone 7. I've mostly been seeing Hand of Midas pretty early on Phoenix. Like, you can get maybe one item on Urge Shadows or something, but they're actually going to go on Juggernaut, at least try to force the spin.
Yeah, he's going to hold on to it for now. Fire Spirits are up, Bone 7. Missing with the second one, and looks like Relax is going to hold on to his mana. Nice bit of defensive play. Didn't panic use the spin here, because Jug does have a lot of mana problems if he just starts using his spin defensively.
Yeah. With full mana here, Zeus might be able to actually kill off the Storm Spirit or Radiant Vision. Do not see it right now, and you get the silence out. Just 1 point in Ancient Seal, but you can get your full burst combo from the Zeus.
They're setting up a trap here. They've got Vision across the river. They plopped down a ward here. There's a Fissure, there's a Silence, and Kiza in some trouble here. The Fissure going to wait things out a bit here. The Bolt's there. Zeus ulti doesn't get the kill. He needs to bottle up, though. He's got an Arcane Bolt. No, he's got the stick. Easily survives it. And Axe going to rock up to the party. Looks like Phoenix on the side kills off the Rubik, and it will still be a kill going Cloud9's way. I
feel Fata hesitated with the Gods. It was definitely necessary there, but there was maybe half a second where he had it, like, had his cast animations, cooldowns available, and he just wasn't hitting that R. So that is going to be the ball lightning out, and a surprising escape for the Storm Spirit. It seems like a bit of a...
Yeah, we'll see Axe now move into the jungle here. It looks like he wants to start working on his Blink Dagger with some camps and stacks, but more than anything, it's LC still with a pretty decent start, although Cloud9's starting to find some kills. It's still about a 2,000 gold lead. With all 3 lanes, LC getting some good farm in CS, Madara making a lot of that into the jungle, but even so, he's got himself his Tranquil, 600 gold, a few more stacks, and you could still be looking at maybe a 13-minute Blink Dagger if things going to continue at this rate.
But there's one to talk about here, and all of these successes that are coming out from London Conspiracy are coming at the cost of one hero, and that's Chen. Right now, he has been barely from the jungle. He's not even level 4. He's been ganking so much and impacting the lane so directly that he's actually not been able to do much for himself at all. Not able to get the mechanism out at a very good time, and he and Rubik are going to be very squishy.
Yeah, both the supports on the Radiant side. I guess they're kind of, on par maybe with the Dire supports as far as XP and levels go. Absolutely, and even, I mean, they're still doing better than the Dire supports. Yeah. So I guess from that point of view, I totally agree. Normally you'd see a Chen at this stage of the game, level 5, with a bit more farm, but comparatively to the C9 supports, he's still doing okay. But Chen as a hero falls off, whereas your Dire supports, your Skywrath, Earthshaker, go a bit better towards the mid to late game. So we'll see how things pan out here. Storm Spirit's just in such a good position to control the tempo of this game. Kiza treads, level 8, he can just go around gaking, getting some kills, he can farm up his Orchid. Haven't seen this, no Soul Ring coming out for him. I feel like that's kind of a staple Storm Spirit item that he's maybe missing right now, but in general, his play's been on point.
What do you think his progression is going to be here? Because if he goes for the Sage's Mask, he could turn that into, of course, an Orchid. But you're so worried about the Skywrath, Mystic, or his Ancient Seal, that's going to come out right now, that you're probably going to take losses. We are going to see
got the damage to kill him. String Threads.
Are you kidding me?
Wand with String Threads, it's what, level 1 silence. Yeah, Big Daddy No-Tail going for the second point in Arcane Bolt, which is your standard build, but they don't have the silence duration to get these kills.
If you're going up against heroes that don't rely on spells for escapes, but up against a Storm, up against Juggernaut, I feel like you have to go for a 1-1-2 build.
Yeah. He's not... I think it's okay to max the Arcane Bolt first if you're getting like lots of kills and really snowballing as a support, but when you're kind of just not finding the kills, I mean, he's got 2 assists, I guess, but when you're kind of playing more, I guess, on the back foot, this max silence build does seem like the better option in general, but we'll see how things move forward next for Cloud9. They have got Envy with a good amount of farm. Treads, Yasha has his Quelling Blade. He's top of the net worth right now, and this is about as good as a start as you could hope for your Terrorblade. Going for a 0-4-4 build, pretty standard, at least for the most part with Terrorblades. That 200 mana cost on Sunder makes it not really very valuable to level up, and may even go for a lot of points in stats. Like, I know some Terrorblades don't even level up the ulti until much later on down the line. It's one of those things where, especially if your opponents don't know if you don't have it, they assume you have it and play like you have leveled it up, so sometimes not leveling up works just fine.
Okay. So we are going to see the build from the Storm Spirit. So far, he's survived against all odds. I guess he can go for the offensive build-up, but around what time of the game do you think he absolutely needs or Lincolns or more like BKB?
It's going to be... I still feel it's okay for the Storm Spirit to go for a second item Bloodstone. I think HP alone could allow him to survive the silence from the Skywrath. But I don't know. I don't think he has to change his build too much from your normal Storm Spirit Orchid Bloodstone. Just, yeah, the Skywrath is annoying, but... Well, speaking of Skywrath,
yeah,
he's
Mask of Madness and the Omni. That is a low... That is Skywrath, and you can close the distance, you can get the kill, so... Oh, interesting point is the Hand of God. Once Chen is even level 6, he's gonna push up to that P threshold where you have to have a BKB just to survive the ganks. The Treads, the Wand, the Hand of God be sufficient. We're gonna see a smoke gank up. Juggernaut probably will just stay down bottom, push Spaghetti no kill, and that means a 3-man play up top with the Blink Dagger still unavailable.
The smoke, oh, it's gonna get revealed.
I'm curious if they actually know about it, because they see vision, but they could have just, okay, that's Axe vision that they just revealed. They don't actually see the hero themselves.
Yeah, they definitely pinged out the Axe, so the pings I think suggested that they, at least that their suspicion is that these heroes are smoked up top, and I don't think Cloud9 want to take this fight and push anyways. Envy used his ulti just to farm the jungle up, and looks like they are going to look for initiation top lane. Bone7 doesn't get hit by the call. He's going to dive on through. Actually goes back to where he started. The Fissure blocking off the LC chase. Storm going to go bowling past over the Fissure. Goes onto the egg here. I think he should be able to bring down the egg with ease. Down goes Bone7. Madara not done. Has a call. Will catch up Misery. Needs this dunk maybe to give him that movement speed. There we go. Gets another kill, and the send back from the Chen will keep him safe.
Yeah. Of course, Envy jungle while this is all going on, so he's still going to stay space created for himself. But overall, Cloud9 are just down in the dumps. The Earthshaker, the Skywrath having trouble getting off the ground, and that was critical timing too. His Midas was close, but now he's just going to be a little bit off, and that's going to be Invisrune. I don't think they'll get that with just the 2 supports. So even with the Mystic Flare, Juggernaut still has a lot going for him, and he's just going to keep farming away, looking for that Mantis.
Yeah, Skywrath will swoop his way through now towards the bottom river, but I think this Invisrune may not amount to too much here. For LC, it's 5 kills to 2, and I feel like the Terrorblade having this great farm is like, yeah, normally it'd be great. Your carry's farming, you top of the net worth charts, but it's still a Terrorblade, and I feel like this lineup is well equipped for dealing with a Terrorblade with a Storm on their side, Axe when he gets the Blink Dagger, which he's now got.
Jeez.
I feel in general, Terrorblade is just not really a scary potent carry, even when he gets free, like more or less free farm like this. For LC, I think they're just quite happy to have things kind of progress as they are.
Now Rubik's level 6, so spell steals could come out. Just a simple Fissure still could make that London Conspiracy are to be able to take every outer tier tower. I mean, the ones at the least are going to be in jeopardy now as the Storm can start initiating longer and longer range. The Axe jump is double, and they have backup of good spells. So you're going to see just right now a Hellbear and a Dark Force Summoner making their way in.
The ancient stack here? Or are they going? I think they thought Cloud9 were going for a typical Cloud9 Roshan here, because Envy's been missing off the map with Metamorph. Now they're going to make their way up the ramp here. Blinking from Madara, catches out No Tail. Is he going to get the dunk? No, not needed for the kill. Cloud9 will have to stop the Ancients here. Great Fissure, Supernova. Nothing to kill the Supernova off. They lose the Axe and the Chen. And Rubik trying to hide himself in this Roshan pit. TP out. Will he succeed? No sirree. Zeus gets the bolt cancel and a 3-for-1 trade.
Consider the Roshan. Obviously,
no
tanky,
Metamorph,
but they don't really have any sustain, and nobody but Envy can stay on the front line of that. So they just go ahead, force the Storm Best, use the Midas for Bone7, and just say, okay, we took a win for the first time this game.
Yeah, I guess Envy doesn't get to finish off his Ancient stack with this Metamorph usage here. But
I think this is almost to a point where it's too many Ancients. I mean, obviously with the Metamorphosis, it's definitely possible, but you have the Ancient Granite Golem, HP Aura, and I don't know, it just feels like a territory where you're going to get ganked a lot, especially since this ward is going to be staying here.
Yeah. Freshly planted, but yeah, that's going to make it a lot harder for Envy to farm this, but we'll see what the next move's going to be. If LC want to contest it, they may look to pick up another smoke fairly soon and go for that when Envy tries to farm. Axe actually, bottom lane, gets a Skywrath Mage with the help of the Juggernaut. That's another pickup for LC.
Just doing really well across the entire map here, and they're going to be going in and maybe the Ancients for themselves. They have max counter, but minimal HP on the Axe. He doesn't have that Vanguard yet. So if he had a Vanguard, I think they would just Ancients out. But they're just going to go ahead, control the area, get some wards out, and Rune is still flowing for Storm for a moment, so they're trying to use that.
Yeah, he's zipping all over the place here. Regen about to expire, and Dire Ward gets taken out, so Cloud9's vision of LC now has been removed. Apart from deeper into this jungle here, they blocked off this big camp. They actually see the Chen and the Rubik here with this nice little Observer Ward, so they'll get still some intel of should LC trying to make a move in. Cloud9 They think they pinged out the observer that's above the Ancients here. They're going to go for the Ancients regardless with Envy. I think he knows he's been spotted here, but feels pretty safe with his team nearby in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's a good choke point for the Earthshaker to fight in. Like, he has a lot of potential with the Slam, and we are what the Supernova can do there. Actually going to be able to finish off the Axe. Again, he doesn't have a Vitality booster yet, so the magic damage is actually something that he doesn't really have that much to survive against.
Even with the Hand of God, he almost survived to that last Arcane Bolt doing just enough damage. But yeah, for Cloud9, that's a handy little pick-off, and Envy, while this was all going on, clears out the Ancients, and still has a bit of Metamorph left, so may even kill off another Ancient stack when possible, and feels like LC are maybe being a bit too quiet. Normally when you get this Axe Blink Dagger, when you've got a hero like Storm who's doing as well as he is, you start finding kills left, right, and center, but we're just not really seeing that right now.
But where's the opening, right? Because they've all been posturing in this general area, but you fight into that choke point, you're fighting into the Earthshaker, the Phoenix, and it's very difficult. Like, obviously going for an attempt on mid would be great, and I guess that's where the Axe overstepped, but like, with the clustering that C9 is doing, where they usually like to spread the map and get a lot of farm, in this case, they're kind of staying together, they know their point of weakness, and other than the pick-off on No Tail on the bottom tier 1, they've really been adjusting well to the potential initiation.
Yeah, Cloud9 just positioning very well on their side of the map and getting what farm they can where they can. Bone7's now got his Tranquil's Myers, his level 2 ulti not far off, and that's a big upgrade to that Supernova, going from 5 hits to 8 hits to destroy it. And we've seen LC really struggle to fight around that Supernova. If you get that good Fissure timed at the exact same time, it's not just about the stun. Sometimes the Fissure can like block off your opponent's melee hero's pathway to the egg so they can't even attack it. So Cloud9 in a decent position here. They've seemed to have recovered quite nicely with the Ancient stack, and it's back to an even net worth between the two teams.
So Juggernaut Mantis still at an okay time. Terrorblade obviously advancing forward.
Down goes your Rubik. Smoking from Cloud9 just for the one solo kill on the support. Did allow Envy to actually sneak the top tier 1 tower. Got it with just some illusions, it looks like, so. Envy level 13, by the way. He's just actually... I think initially when he was kind of on par with the Juggernaut and Storm Spirit, he wasn't a problem, but now he's starting to become one because of how far ahead he is of the LC carries.
Yeah. I also like that Bone7 is going to get a Yules pretty soon. That's going to deal with the Orchid so that he can actually get the egg off, and he's getting a lot of experience with this Midas, so the egg's going to be hard to deal with.
In bottom lane, Fata goes in, blows up the Chen before he can use any of his spells here. They do lose the Phoenix in the meantime. Kaiser with an Orchid helping secure that kill, and Chase seems to be on here. They've stolen a Fissure. Nice steal, and Fata gets hit by it. He's Battle Hunger as well. He can't blink out. Fata going to try escape, but he gets taken out by the Culling Blade. Buyback from your Phoenix. Not going to amount to too much right away. He's trying to chase down. Relax here on the Juggernaut. Can he make a play here? He doesn't want to use the Supernova if it'll be his own death here. Relax, silenced up. Forced to run. Nice Echo Slam from Misery, but is it going to be enough here? The stuns are there. Bone7's low. Going to drop the Supernova, try to keep himself alive. They're not going to kill Madara. It's going to be just the Axe dropping for the time being. No Tail trying to chase down Skanks on the Rubik. He'll heal himself up with an urn, and while all this is going on, MB says, thanks for the space team.
And they can start pressuring bottom a little bit. Bone7, full HP and mana. Did cost him a buyback, so he really wants to make sure that he's getting everything. Like, he didn't even get that full creep wave from the gold V buff, but it looks like they're just going to leave it very low. Envy can take that anytime he wants to with some convenient Ancients, and a DD Rune enables them to maybe go for Roche. M clicks the illusions onto Roshan, so they take the aggro without dissipating, and then of course he's going to be able to fall through with this massive base damage. It's actually, he's hitting for over 400.
It's just insane. The DD's just going to wear off now, but still has a good duration left on his Metamorph, and we'll be able to bring this down. LC had heroes near. He's maybe could have contested this with Envy starting to get low. He's going to actually sunder No Tail here just to help himself out, but this is a pretty big pickup for Eternal Envy, who's now got 4k gold as well. Probably picks up a Skadi now, and he's basically got that in 1k gold.
This is insane farm coming out for Eternal Envy. I mean, you expect it with his prowess on one position heroes when he gets the opportunity to just have a distracted enemy on the other side of the map and do what he wants, but taking these towers, taking all these Ancients and this Roche, he is soon going to be doubling net worth. So I mean, he's already up there with a 50% advantage over Juggernaut and Storm, and honestly, at the rate he's going, he might be 6-slotted in like 15 minutes.
We'll see Misery take down the bottom tier 1 tower in the Earthshaker. He's up to 1300 gold, so possible Blink Dagger should be coming online for Misery maybe in due time, but LC looking to make trades elsewhere on the map. They've got Relax and Kiza pushing down a tier 1 tower of their own. The first tower takedown for LC, though, for the entire game. They did alright in the early game, but they couldn't really turn it into a successful mid-game. Even with a good timing of their Axe Blink, good farm on their Storm and Juggernaut, the team fight just wasn't there. Cloud9 just didn't give them the opportunity to get kills, to get towers, and as a result, we're now in a position where it's about a 3,000-4,000 gold lead going Cloud9 way.
Yep, so we're going to see that BKB after Orc coming out for the Storm, but the Yules will be out in time for Bone 7 to kind of prevent him from going down just to the Orchid plays. It's got to be the Axe that connects with his spells, and obviously has experience with it. Madara plays a decent amount of Axe, but it's not their core Axe player. They've actually been running Relax on the Axe quite frequently as well, so like it's showing that he can't get the big pickoffs with this call so far, and it's something they're going to need if Envy gets any bigger.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that they switched up Madara and Relax this game, because yeah, just yesterday Relax had one game where he just went ballistic on the Axe, but slight deviation in LC. Well, they haven't really found the initiations I'd hoped for here. They're trying to go in the tier 2 tower up top here. They're pushing despite there being an Aegis on Cloud9's Eternal Envy, so I mean, it feels like this is something they could have maybe tried to do some time ago before they lost their lead.
And just look at this. They're like, okay, you want to take our tier 2, we'll immediately take yours, and we'll push it to the base. They're willing to play chicken. Yeah, they've got... I mean, obviously the illusion versus tower damage was reduced, but even still, I think they can base race this. They can go play chicken with LC, and they have a lot more to lose.
Just Metamorph alone gives Terrorblade so much damage. You can't go for this base trade. Storm, it looks like, yeah, he'll be sent back, and they'll prepare to defend the bottom lane, but already a lot of damage being dealt here. They're going to have to pop this glyph maybe fairly soon. Illusions can be dealt with fairly nicely, but this tier 3 tower down to about half HP.
8 seconds. He used Test of Faith on somebody else, and he actually can't bring the creeps in just yet.
Well, creeps going to start top lane here. They will look to keep on chipping at this tier 3 tower. Envy with the Skadi in the front lines, and we'll get Blink called here, but this is just an Axe who will be being sent back in the meantime, but he's going to die before he gets back to base. Now the Supernova. Can they bring it down? Relax with the Mask of Madness, trying to solo kill it. Will do so. Nice play. Ballsy play from your Juggernaut. That'll keep the high ground defense alive. Madara looking to chase down Envy, but that's a Skadi. And Madara, you're so squishy, my friend. You're going down and going down fast.
Storm still has Aegis. He still has Aegis and Sunder. He can go in 1v3 if he wants to. It's so much potential.
They've got no answer for this Terrorblade. He's just reached critical mass here. Manta, Skadi, that's all he needed, and well, maybe an Aegis on top of that. But Envy, Metamorph ends, but he's still pushing. He wants this melee rack. Storm going to ball in. Once again, balls past. Going on the backlines here. Once Big Daddy No-Tail. The Silence is there with an Echo Slam, and Kiza, he's going down pretty fast. He doesn't even get the kill on Big Daddy No-Tail. In the backlines is Envy, who dies, but melee racks has been claimed. Storm going to once again ball past, ball deep. He will get Big Daddy No-Tail. Wants Fata as well. He's used up all his mana. Will get himself 4 kills for his team. Just Envy remaining, and Envy, he hasn't got a Sunder anymore. He's going to get pulled back in. It's going to be a team wipe for LC. They lose their melee racks. They use multiple buybacks, but that's about as good as you could hope for against a Manta, Skadi, Aegis, Terrorblade pushing your base.
Yeah, getting a lot out of it. I mean, that was a 6k gold advantage, so the rubber band is going to take some effect here. Not the maximum potential, but definitely going to get some value out of that one, even with the buyback. And it really comes down to how they controlled Eternal Envy. In that fight, he was looking for the Sunder, and he was down to 10% HP. He had a full HP target next to him, but 10 Army, which was all the way in the dire jungle, made their way down bottom without being Test of Faith, and they actually got a Centaur Stomp to prevent it when they popped the Aegis. Then later on, they were able to go in with the Orchid, and they knew Manta was on cooldown. So they just had the perfect amount of control to bring down Envy without him getting a good Sunder off. It was an okay one on the Juggernaut at half HP, but it wasn't what he was looking for to keep that fight going. And yeah, Cloud9, they do some good damage, but is it going to be enough?
Mid lane, they want to go on Bone 7. They'll get him before he can self-Yules, and he'll get blown up. 1 kill to start things off here. Can they get more here? Storm had a regen rune. It's still ticking, and he may look to go back in. Gets hit by the bolt, though. That'll end the regen and maybe deter him from further chases. But LC still in this one with a chance here. They're up a couple of kills, but losing a melee racks at this stage is still very costly for him. But trying to regain some map control with a tier 1 tower push at mid.
Yeah, if you look at the experience graph, they're actually very far ahead. They just turned it 100%, so they got a lot of good levels. A lot of people up to level 11, but they have to use it because it is a temporary advantage that will slip through their fingers very quickly with that racks always pushing in, them always having to fall back. And a lot of creeps actually very low. Teaser jumping forward.
Oh, he wants the Earthshaker. Misery in the backline's being locked in place. He can't get that Blink Echo Slam. He wants his Echo still on cooldown as well. They get the Silence on Keezer. Oh no! They lose their Storm. It's a dieback effectively. Envy still in Metamorph form, looking for a Sunder target perhaps. He's not going to find one right away. The send back onto your Juggernaut. He'll get out of there. And they're going to lose the Rubik on the escape here. Spartan's still being chased. Madara thinking about maybe a Blink call from the higher ground. He sees how low Envy is, but I think it's a bit of a death trap. And yeah, Axel Blink, TP himself home. triple kill for Big Daddy
And
No
Envy
Tail.
just pops the Sunder again onto No Tail. Says, you can go home, buddy. I'm pushing this tier 2.
Yeah, I guess he's struggling to sunder enemies, so he'll just start using it on teammates more, perhaps. So top tier 2 tower now going to be the new target, as here comes your Axe. Has a blink call, but Axe is just so squishy at this stage of the game. When he's not using, when the Berserker's call ends, he dies so quickly to the right-click damage of Envy.
Top tower has fallen.
And obviously, Storm Spirit, he played really well with his ball lightning control for the first half of that fight, but it stops as soon as that silence connects, and Big Daddy was able to take him out of the fight, so that's a really big deal. You can't really kill a Skywrath Mage when he's got a Ghost Scepter, because Storm actually relies on right clicks for a lot of his damage output. So in the end, Big Daddy, he's able to survive, get the big maxed out silence, and until that BKB is finished, it's 200 gold. Then he'll finally be able to deal with it.
It's really problematic because both the Earthshaker and the Skywrath have a way of killing the Storm. Earthshaker with a Blink Echo Slam, because that's an instant stun on the Storm Spirit, and Skywrath if he hits the silence. So if you go for the Earthshaker, you most likely get hit by an Ancient Seal. If you go for the Skywrath, one thing, like you said, you can't kill him because of the Ghost Scepter, and if Earthshaker connects with a Fissure or a Blink Echo Slam, you're done for. So it's really difficult for the Storm to kind of pick his targets. Until now, he's got a BKB. This will make his life a little bit easier.
Yeah. It's a lot easier for the Storm. He pretty much has clear trajectory towards some real luxury items now because he's gotten everything he needs. But what does everybody else move towards? I mean, obviously the Juggernaut, he just picked up a Battle Fury. It's a costly item that most people equate to farming, but this isn't for farming at 27 minutes. This is for dealing with all these damn illusions that keep on coming out from Eternal Envy. He's got the Manta, he's got the Conjure, and he wants to crush them all. And the Omni Slash you can actually cleave with your attacks just like Ember Spirit can. It's not as effective as it is with the Sleight of Fist, but it still will do its work, and it also ignores Envy's armor. Envy is sitting at 21 armor. That's 61% magic physical resistance, and that doesn't come into play here.
We're going to lose the Rubik to Initiation. Kiza trying to turn this one around with a BKB. The Supernova, though, being left unchecked, and Kiza...
mana.
He may get hit by the Supernova stun. Nope, it's out of range for that one, but he's got so low mana. I don't think he can bowl the high ground. Silence up, brought down, and without a buyback, this is looking bad. The Rubik is back in action here. He bought back and almost died a second time. Here come your Chen heals. Storm saying, where were they for me? The mech, the Hand of God, not coming into play just yet. Omni Slash on True. What can he do? The Juggernaut getting everyone low, but he doesn't connect and kill anyone beyond the Earthshaker. Everyone's low. Now it's done from your Axe. That's at least one more going their way. 2 on the sidelines here. Zeus is going to have a fast respawn thanks to the Bloodstone, though, and Envy metamorphed up, and, well, this is looking like a dead tier 2 tower at mid lane.
Yeah, they might be able to try to pressure high ground. They know Storm doesn't have a buyback here. Juggernaut does, but if they force that out and can back off, that'll be great. Actually, it's already out, so probably better to play it safe and not go for any further structural damage, because that Axe will hold you in place, and that Juggernaut still can hurt pretty hard. So, yeah, they're just going to fall back here. They get a buyback, they get it to tier 2, and they can probably just get Roche.
Yeah, I think that's, most likely their next objective. We've seen what Envy can do with an Aegis.
Before they actually go in.
Yeah. They've maybe, wait some of their cooldowns, the Supernova, the Zeus Ultimate, but all relatively low cooldowns, and they'll be up in the next kind of 30 seconds or so. So from that point of view, feels like Cloud9, with the map control they've got, with bottom lane being pushed out, taking a run down a Roshan is going to be pretty straightforward for them. Just the Metamorph about 1 minute away, which is kind of the big ulti that they are missing out on.
Still a lot of the charges on Fata's Bloodstone, too. He did die, but he goes ahead and comes back with 8, and that's going to be a big heal in the fight. That's going to be, obviously, a quicker respawn in general, and plenty of HP and mana to work with. So he's doing pretty well for himself. I think he's looking at Hex next. It seems a little late for a Yules. I mean, it definitely is still an item that will work later in the game, but you can go for the Hex and make it work.
Yep. Let's see what the plan's going to be here. LC... I don't know if they can contest this Roshan. Envy now with a Satanic to go with his Skadi Mantisal. A third item to give him a ton of survivability and tankiness. And the Metamorph gives you all the damage you need. You don't need to go for damage with this Terrorblade. It's all about staying alive, and Satanic will potentially give him like a second life in a fight.
A third if you count the Sunder. Like, it's a really good Sunder, and suddenly this guy has 3 life bars. Give him an Aegis, and he's got 4. Like, there's so much potential for Envy to just sustain through the fight. And to that point, do you just ignore him as LC? Like, he just built so tanky, and right now, at least, he doesn't have a Butterfly or anything. So the damage isn't there, but they're going to initiate on him first.
Oh, the Supernova on the high ground. This is going to maybe stun everyone. The nice Omni Slash coming to play. Envy going to get low, but he's got the Satanic. He can heal back up, and the Jug does not stand a chance. Dive on through from your Phoenix. This is going to tear apart LC. Everybody is so low. They can't deal with Eternal Envy. In the Manta with the Metamorph, he's just shredding apart LC. Blink. Echo Slam and Misery completely misses that one. For the most part, Storm Spirit's the target they want. He's going to get thrown up in the air once, twice. Is there a third time? He balls to the side here. Kiza needs to TP out, but he hasn't got a TP. He's trapped, and Misery, I think he knows it. He scouted out Kiza, wants him dead, and Bone 7 with the Sunray. Kiza will go down.
And look at Envy. He's just like, yeah, you guys can go on that Wild Goose Chase. I'm here for the buildings. Munching down on the tier 3, and he's got the Satanic back off cooldown. The Sunder was never used. Good game played. They can't handle the Eternal Envy terribly.
Nicely executed game from Cloud9. A bit of a shaky start, but they turned things around with just some great mid-game play. Didn't let the... it really looked like a classic game of like, okay, LC got a good start, they got their Axe Blink, they got Storm with a good Orchid timing, Jugs free farming. Everything was going according to plan, but then their mid-game just didn't happen, despite all these good item timings.
Yeah, I really think you called it with the fact that they didn't really get much out of the Axe Blink when they needed to. They had so much potential to make the jump. The Orchid a little late. The Storm just gets a couple of kills off of a good Axe initiation, then that Orchid comes out faster than any of the Yules, any of the Ghost Scepters, and he's able to snowball much harder and get them to that stage where Juggernaut is actually the force to be reckoned with. But as it was, they were just playing 4 Protect 1. They stayed together, but not too close, and they were able to really gain a really good sense of the state of the game, the map as a whole, and when they stuck together, they were able to take it away. So Cloud9, really smart movement, really great farm on Envy, and they play a very solid game 1.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Myself, GoDz, as well as my co-caster Blaze will be bringing you Game 2 of Cloud9 vs London Conspiracy here in Starlight Europe. Stay tuned.